Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel.
Hello.
Hello. Holy cow. What a week.
I know. Happy Nurses Ball. I love the Nurses Ball, and I can't wait to talk about it. But first, we have to talk about all the crap that happens before more stuff happens.
I know. I told my husband, like, I can't talk to you this week in the evenings. Like, I have to watch the nurse's ball. And he's like, do you want me to watch it with you? I'm like, hells no. Because you're going to ask me too many questions.
Oh my gosh, that is an ongoing thing every night. I'm like, literally, when you do certain things, like whether it's video games or sports, like I don't start to ask questions because I don't care. And this is a rule: no talking, no talking when I'm watching General Hospital. If you have a question, wait for a commercial or pause. Just don't. And so for the nurse's ball, he did not interrupt because I've gotten so mad over the past few weeks and I'm watching regular episodes. But no, we watched it together. I was just so sad though, because I had this like whole plan. I even had a dress picked out
Oh,
to like wear to the nurse's ball, but like I just was feeling sick and it happens. You just, the nurse's ball just always catches up to you. You're never
I
fully
know.
prepared. But I did have like wine and appetizers like most nights of the nurse's ball. So at least I managed to do that. I just kept thinking, wouldn't it be so cool? I mean, we don't like live there like in the States, but I'm like, could you imagine if we could like rent out like a ballroom and then like actually like have a dinner with a bunch of people and like we have a stage but it's a screen and like we're actually
Viewing.
watching the nurses ball together? That'd be so fun.
Well, you know what?
Yeah.
One of these days, that might be one of our events.
I
If
would like,
people like listening to us, maybe they'll want to spend time with us in IRL.
but like, why couldn't we be the people on the tables at the side
Oh my
awkwardly
gosh.
beside the
You don't
stage?
understand. Like all week I'm watching, I'm like craning my neck like I could be in the TV, being like, who are those people? I do not recognize them. They look happy because maybe they're fans, or are they extras, like hired actor extras? Like the whole week I was eyeing them up.
I'll do it. Like, we'll do it.
Right?
We could
We
easily
will.
fill a table for two. Okay, but before we get all into the nurses' ball stuff,
Yeah.
the week just continued on from the stuff of the four. And I'm speaking about Lulu. So, like, her ongoing thing that she finally found an ally in Cody. This
So
girl
gross.
said a thing that
Which
I
one?
just could not with. Seriously, at this point. She starts to tell Cody, because she's like, I believe Brooklyn is the devil. Even when Cody says,
Wow.
didn't Carly, your
Yeah.
cousin, arrange for that? And I
Uh-huh.
love how she excuses it. She excuses it. It makes zero sense. Brooklyn was the child, Carly was the adult.
Exactly.
Okay? And the fact is, you've fully welcomed Carly back into your life, but apparently it's just, again, it doesn't matter how many times we rehash it, we don't understand why Lulu can't let it go, and it makes zero sense. We just know that she's convinced of seeing Brooklyn as pure evil, and she told Cody, of course it's possible that Brooklyn knows her child is Geo
Ugh.
because she can convince herself she's doing the right thing.
Oh yeah, highlighted in my notes.
Is that a joke? Is that a joke? I think they're literally trying to make us crazy.
Oh, I am convinced that that's what the writers are doing. Everything she says, all her interactions, like the whole week just led up to this moment, right? But even before then, they kept just like, when somebody just poking you in the same spot for a really long
Yeah,
time and you just want to unleash the dragon,
yeah.
that I feel a lot of rage.
Oh my gosh. And then another thing, what got me. So while she's in his horse house, she reaches a friend of Camilla's to talk about her and that time period.
Hmm.
What got me was this. So you have this suspicion that Camilla was never pregnant. Then you get someone on the phone who knew Camilla at the time and confirms that she was never pregnant. Why are you shocked that you got confirmation for the very specific piece of information you were looking for? I was
Because
losing it with her. I was losing it with her.
she can't believe she's actually right. Like, she even annoys herself and then thinks so out in left field. And she's like, wow, I actually got it right this time.
I know, she was so stunned. But again, I will just say this because What is evidence according to Lulu?
Mm, mm,
I won't say anything until I have evidence. I don't know what
mhm.
constitutes evidence. I truly don't. I truly don't. And maybe we'll never know. We'll never
I
know.
don't think we ever will. I mean,
No,
the PCPD works in the absence of evidence, so a lot of
absolutely. Absolutely.
So Lulu's just following suit, hunches, big ideas, that whole thing, right?
Yeah. So not only is Geo a big thing about, in terms of his reveal, there's still the residual drama from what happened with Rocco, to the point that
Yes,
Brooklyn hosts a family meeting about it, excluding Dante.
indeed she did.
The best part of that whole meeting was when Ned pointed out Tracy's parenting approach. He's like, as I recall, you were very hands off. So, like, that part was,
It was so good. They're so good. Chemistry, that whole family is amazing.
I know, like, a lot of the quick lines, definitely with like Ned and Tracy and that whole vibe. I mean, even
Mhm.
Jason showed up to the family meeting, which was so funny.
I love it.
His exit was funny. Like, him and Tracy are just something else, and it's, again, something we never really thought we would ever really see. The fact that, Jason returned as Jason. He didn't return as Jason Quartermain. He didn't have another brain
Yes.
injury. I don't even think he could survive another brain injury, to be honest, at this point. So just to see him return to the home as he was is just incredible. But during that meeting, he's still carrying on, and I kind of enjoyed Olivia and Brooklyn bringing up, let's say, Dante's history of like B&Es.
Right? I was like, "Excuse me, sir."
Yeah. So that whole conversation about Dante's past, but also his belief, right? We know that he's very strong on punishment. And even when Olivia was asking Jason, it's like, like what's the punishment? Like what are you doing with Danny? And the thing is, it's like if we're going to compare this idea of like how to parent, like Rocco cleaned the house one day. Danny has to
Mhm.
check in with Jason every single night moving forward at a specific time. There
Mhm.
is more communication between Jason and Danny has to work to rebuild the trust he broke and to keep it. You know what I mean? Like it's more of an ongoing thing versus
Yes.
like Dante and Lulu where like Rocco clean the house and like that's like he's gonna learn now
He'll never drink again, everybody.
all those suds. Huge deterrent for teen drinking. So I just like again, a lot of judgment. Dante's pretty clear on where he stands with things. And he had
Mhm.
a little back and forth with Brooklyn. That was a little tough, saying you're not a parent, you wouldn't know.
Yes.
And he just had this idea like you have to kind of step in and do what you got to do so that your kid can stand on his own. And I'm just like, but Gio is standing on his own. He's literally at college.
Yeah.
Like, what
Yeah.
are you talking about? He's functioning. He's literally a functioning human.
Dante, when he's like this, it just brings me back to the time of like the whole Michael
Oh,
situation when
yes.
him and Lulu were in their heyday and you could understand why they were together. Like, yeah, a lot of the times you're like, why? But when he gets like this, and remember I said that like I think a week ago or 2 weeks ago, it's like they're playing up this side of him that we see why he can still match with Lulu all this time later because they like jumping to conclusions. They like absolutely being right and nobody else's opinion matter once they are on this like train track.
I don't like it.
No, I don't like it at all.
I don't like hearing it. I don't like seeing it. There was that little moment where Lulu shows up and the way that he looks at her. I mean, Sam hasn't been gone a year.
I know. I'm like, gross. You're gross. Stop. And it's her. It's Lulu.
That's how I felt. I was just like, you guys need to stop. Like, it's just giving me the ick.
Hmm.
But then at the same time, I kind of wonder, what you said earlier, just Lulu in general, like poke, poke, poke. And then here's this introduction of like tender Dante Lulu moment because all of it will go away. That's my
Yeah.
hope.
Me too.
Essentially, but what won't go away is this like custody hearing, this Michael drama, the Willow drama, like this whole saga. So remember last week how Nina had this idea and she was like, I know who can reach Michael. And so she showed up at Carly's to have a talk
Oh,
with her bestie.
she did. And then when she walked through the doorway, she went through a time machine doorway.
I love drama. I know
Same.
how everybody was like so thrilled to have this like fight happen. But for me, I was like utterly just stunned and so disappointed. I could not have been more just like, what is going on? It's because it's exactly what you're saying. Like they come in and I get it, right? Like, do I get it? No, I don't. Okay. Because
I was
from
like,
the
explain it to me.
from the very beginning, Nina approached Carly to work together. But let's be real, like, Carly had no role. Nina has been doing her thing, and the only thing Carly could do or could offer was simply to play up being the bad guy so that Nina
Yes.
could amplify being the good guy. That's it. But there was no plan, really. Nina just wanted an ally and somebody who wanted the same things, but there was nothing for Carly to really do. And while Nina was doing her thing, begging for more time, Carly, we already know, was sort of working with Diane, wanting to come up with this date. But
Mhm.
for me, I just felt like this moment should have happened after Nixon Falls. What are we doing here? What is happening? When Nina and Carly got together, I was actually surprised about how their first meeting went. You know, like
Mhm.
so much time had passed, but here they were. They actually confronted and talked about the cheating, right? That aspect where Nina, for the literally the first time
Mhm.
since Dixon Falls, actually owned up to something. And she owned up to it to Carly. They've had multiple moments, okay, where there was a show of respect. Nina, without any like Carly present or anyone else forcing her hand, changed her tune when it came to Michael. Really thinking about Michael's perspective on this, really having this balanced outlook. You know,
Mm.
they even found mutual respect when it came to Nell.
Yes.
So I was just really upset because, like, remember last week when I said, hey, did you notice what they were doing with Carly? They kind of used that Diane Jason scene to be like, remember Carly being like a screw up and all that? And
Mhm.
then even when they were planning the nurses' ball, there was a scene in the Quartermain kitchen with Maxie, Lucy, and I believe Lois. And then they were calling Carly out for making scenes and about like whether
Yes.
like let's not have her there. And I'm like, okay, like
So
I
weird.
just I just don't get it, you know? Like Carly went through this whole journey of even being this sort of like Bobby type character, right? Moving into matriarch territory. And even Nina had all this growth, but clearly the decision is we need like enemy lines. Like we need to draw a line. And that escalated so quickly. Like when they went there, like the moment Carly said, you're not a mother, like, why?
Wa
What year is this? And so ultimately, Carly threw some emotional punches and then Nina hit her with some real ones.
I was really shocked by that. Okay, so all that being said, the recapping, the bringing back the feisty Carly or however we want to call it. Do we think though they're like, "Hey, it's May. We're looking at some rating stuff. There's no other pairing that we could like conjure up some things to fight about. Who are two very popular characters at the moment? Let's make them fight because
I
it
mean,
was so out of place."
it really was out of place for both characters, given, let's say, the growth and the trajectory they were on. So, yeah, for that reason, yeah, I'm like a little bit stunned. And of course, I think it has a lot to do with May sweeps. I'm not saying I didn't want the drama or the fight,
No,
but
same.
just story wise, for where they were at, I was just like, what? It's kind of like we're trying to correct some stuff from before with regards to the
Yes.
Nixon's fall storyline. So, we're going to do it now. So, I literally, for me, it just felt like this is a time warp. Okay, we're really going there. Like in terms of the back and forth, Carly said some really extreme things, but then she said some other things that I was like, okay, maybe, maybe I agree with that a little bit.
Yes,
But
some I did as well. What did you agree with?
I agreed with her talking about you're trying to be her friend, not her mother.
Yeah, she tippy toes and walks around way too lightly. And like we've discussed many times, Willow only calls her mom or brings her in for a hug when she's 100% agreeing with everything Willow is doing. And that's not what parents do.
But I will say this at the same time, you can say that Nina has barely had time with any child.
That's true.
So, like, she's barely had any time at this. She's new at this. And I still think like it's a tricky spot for Nina to be an inexperienced mom. I mean, we saw Alexis go through this with Christina, right? Like
That's
when
true.
she was in a cult. The reality is if Nina pushes her, says the wrong thing, like she's fully gone. And I don't think Nina can bear temporary separation or a temporary disconnect. I don't think, after everything Nina's lost and after all the ground she's made with Willow, I can see how Nina could not take that step. Like that she could not risk the loss of any time or tolerate a separation from her daughter at this point.
Okay, fair. When you put it like that, I
It doesn't mean
understand
it's
more.
okay. I'm just saying those are that's sort of like the rationale between this. But like, I mean, man, things quickly escalated. Like Nina took it to a physical place, but then she full blown came back. Like I think when Carly slapped her, Nina was like, "Well, there goes my growth, everyone. It's all the way over there." And so that was insane because like she struck first. They could have called the police, like if Carly wanted. At this point, if they're on opposite sides and Diane told you that the kids could potentially go to the other grandmother and not you, well, that could have been a time to strike. But I don't know if it would have looked bad on Carly's part. But what stunned me the most was the fact that when they rolled over the couch, Nina was going to hit her with the
I know,
candle.
but
Like that
that's
really took
intense.
me aback.
Right? Because she would have passed out. Like, that was intense.
No, but like, when would you have stopped? Because Nina was really worked up. Like,
Right.
Joss had to pull her off, and it's like,
Mhm.
where's Donna? Like, are you like this to me was insane. Like, how is this the woman who sat in that meeting with Rick and Drew and Willow and was rolling her eyes and literally giving these counterpoints that was pissing Drew off because she was pointing out all of Willow's mistakes along the way with regards to the kids?
Yes. This is the thing. And even though she's supporting Willow in this moment, the minute Drew opens his mouth, Nina can't keep her face together. So he is going to say something or push her more. And she'll eventually find her way back to the whole Carly Michael side. Like, I'm positive of that. And Nina has this way of just
Really?
like, I feel like she's like going to insert herself back into their lives eventually. But I really feel, and I don't know what the right words are, but Drew is going to do something, or Nina's going to find out about the phone call. There's going to be something really specific that Nina finds out about. And at the end of the day, this battle is going to end up in Michael's favor and maybe eventually the 50-50. But Drew has to do something else to push Nina over the edge to go into that mode of Mama Bear and protect Willow, even if that means she has her kids or not. Does that
I
make
don't
sense?
know. Like, I don't know. I just find look, I feel like they shifted course of the story. And if this was before, we thought maybe Nina would have gotten custody. Like maybe
Hmm.
that's when there would have been a firm line between her and Willow. But to be honest, I don't know where this is going anymore. And I'm not sure where the Nina character is going anymore. Because after this stunt with Carly, I was like, oh, Nina was full blown back. She ran to Willow, ran to Sunny, and literally was like, I tried to go talk to Carly and this is what she did to me. I'm a Carly fan. I was annoyed with a lot of the stuff that Carly said because I'm like, you didn't need to kind of like say those things about, let's say, Nina being a mom. But I'm also annoyed at the way that they keep amping up Carly in this whole thing. Like we already lived
Yes.
through the Nina obsession with Carly. And
Yeah, we
then
really did.
and then like, ugh, and I mean, I get it, like right now, Carly is the representation of Michael, and I couldn't be grateful that her representation will no longer be needed. So we can get the
Yes.
story going without this fixation. Like, I mean, we got Drew fixated on Carly, we got Willow fixated on
Mm.
Carly, and honestly, I'm just like, ugh, like we already did this. We did it for so long. Like, I just don't want it anymore. So again, how did you feel when Nina walked in and did her whole display with Sunny and Willow?
I was completely infuriated. Like, I just couldn't believe, like you said,
Yeah,
the minute she walked in there, it was, again, we were still stuck in the time warp of victim Nina, not responsible for anything,
exactly.
pleading for people to pay attention to her. Not the situation, not Willow. That was about Nina's ego in them. And Willow still being a thing, not Willow the person.
What shocked me is that I'm so used to Nina talking crap about Carly and Michael to Sunny because we saw
Yes.
so much of that I was so taken aback when Sunny had a reaction to Nina talking about Carly. Because to me, I'm like, well, what is he going to think? Because, he already kind of gave Carly crap, and
Yes.
to Nina, he's been publicly disloyal, like when it came to
Mm.
Carly and Michael. And I understand things have changed since, but to see Sunny step up and actually say, no, it's your fault. And
Yes.
it's so insane how they really strongly believe they have a case, child abandonment because he went to go for medical treatment, but Sunny pointing out, like, this is not good for Willow. And I came here putting her first. And, the fact that he
Yeah.
finally told Willow what Michael's plans originally were was for shared custody. And I'm just so grossed out at the fact that Willow literally wants to play house because as long as Michael's not in the picture, she doesn't have to face what she did. She keeps saying she knows it's bad, kind of like how Nina fake apologized to herself and to
Yes.
the world for like however long after Nixon falls. That's a lot of what Willow's doing. She hasn't truly faced up or owned up to anything she did. She just sort of narrates it. I know I hurt Michael. There's probably a sad face somewhere inside of me about this. You know what I mean? She's more fixated on telling everyone that Michael refused to see me. Like, seriously, he wouldn't even talk to the mother of his children. You refused to talk to him. That has been something that has annoyed me throughout this whole
Yes.
storyline. But either way, once Nina walked in, all bets were off. Willow ran away, and it is what it is, but not for long. The nurse's ball begins. Red carpet. What are your thoughts?
The beginning, I must have rewound it like twice because I'm like, did I miss something here when they do the phone call and the split
Okay, yeah,
screen
yeah, yeah, yeah.
with Nina and Drew? Like, what an unlikely pair, but it made it so fun and interesting. Like, I had no idea who they would pick to host or if they'd have like a guest host like they've had a couple of years ago. But I kind of love the duo. Like, they did such a good job. Like, Nina's face acting is on point always. And then Drew just pushing that envelope of being the bad guy and so slimy. He does it so well. What do you think?
Okay. I actually think that this was my favorite red carpet
Oh,
and
that's a big
maybe,
statement.
yeah, and maybe favorite nurse's ball. I'll ask you this. Did you
Yes.
did you get the sense that there was a different feel with this year's nurse's ball?
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%. It felt a little bit more, for lack of a better word, more modern, like more it was just different in terms of the acts, the people involved, the style of music. Yeah, it was really, really different this year.
I found, like, with the red carpet, the guests, everything. So I found the nurse's ball way more pointed. Like, I found they really narrowed the scope. We didn't, like, I don't know if it was like this previous years, but again, it's the feeling that I get that this year is particularly different. Like, they really concentrated on certain characters and certain storylines and a lot of the
Mhm.
characters that overlapped with different stories. So I found that it
Yes.
was very targeted, very focused. So I feel like that made it different because there was a little less people, I felt like, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
like everybody who showed up on the red carpet was really specific. There was drama with the host and every character that showed up. I felt like at times like Drew was in full-blown host mode because he does host.
Yes.
So, like, I found that really funny because there was moments where he went into, like, host mode that I saw him as Cameron Matheson, and I didn't see him as Drew, like, for moments at a time, like, little glimpses. But no, I think it was amazing. And another thing, when you were talking about, like, what could happen with regards to Nina down the line, there might have been a hint. So the whole time that they were hosting together, people would not stop commenting on them being a very good pair,
Yes.
right?
Like
So being a
so many times.
Exactly. So just a nod to their secret past. So I think that, has to come up. But when I guess it goes to the little bit of a yelling match that Olivia had to Willow when she told Willow, no one is going to feel sorry for you when this blows up in your face. So if it blows up in her face, I think finding out about Nina and Drew will be one of those elements. But
I
yeah,
would say.
the red carpet was so good. Like the animosity between Nina and Drew, I found that like when Sunny came down the red carpet, I felt like, so if we consider the whole political part, okay, of Port Charles and where we suspect Sunny will go, and we're
Mm.
talking about likability, and Marco already talked about the fact that he's charming and he's a man of the people. So I found that Sunny did such a good job when being interviewed by Drew that he really, really came off as likable. He was really like, yeah, the people have a choice. He was so chill about it. So I thought that was a little nugget to Sunny's way with the people and what his future has in store.
I absolutely agree. I definitely saw the way he answered that. Like he did such a good job. Um, Wait, what was it I wanted to say earlier? We were just talking about like Drew and how he was like being his real life person and a host.
Yeah.
I found that because we have a lot of newbies, you can kind of see the excitement. Like Jens, I found like he was out of character at certain points. He just looked really excited as him, the actor, to be a part Like, sometimes you'd catch him on camera just smiling and almost being, like, goofy, just, like, so in the moment.
I also felt that way about Kai. So there's some
Yes.
scenes where he's like so into it. I think it was when the kids were performing. No,
Mm.
I definitely loved it. And I think that too. Do you find that this nurse's ball there was more newbies?
Yes,
Like more
100%.
yeah, yeah. So it was different, right? I feel like before it was definitely more cast and more
Yes.
of a mix. I feel like in the past, if we were watching the nurses' ball, a lot of storylines would sort of go on pause a little during this
Yes.
period, right? And maybe one or two major storylines would end at the nurses' ball, like blow up there. Whereas this time when I was watching the nurses' ball, that's also what was different, right? There was no pause in any storyline. The storylines were happening on the red carpet, everything was happening inside. So I found like the storyline and nurses' ball were woven together way more seamlessly that now it this year it felt more like the story, like everything we're watching, and the nurse's ball. Whereas before I found the nurse's ball was more and the storylines less.
Yes, I totally agree because we got other snippets of things. We got a full Monday, and then we got storyline kind of going throughout the
Yeah.
rest of the week. So, yeah, it was amazing.
Because even like Carly coming in, that was insane to me. I'm like, you guys were brawling the day before. Like, how is this
Right?
even happening? It's so mind blowing that part of me was like, did you guys film this out of order? Because you guys
Right.
don't look like two people who fought the way you did the day before.
Well, they really didn't. There was no bruises, I guess, a really good foundation and cover up. Because Nina was bruised up in her face. Carly didn't have a scratch on her, but even after the
I
fight, they
know.
didn't.
I know. That's why. That's exactly why Nina lost her growth because the hit was so hard. She shouldn't have started it. She shouldn't have started it. Carly was trapped and couldn't do anything. But I don't know if that means something that Jocelyn was there. Like, I don't know if that's going to be a useful piece of information that there was a witness of having to pull Nina off. So that's what I'm curious about is like, what was the goal of having Joss show up like that? Like, because there's the severity of what Nina would have done had no one walked in. And the fact that like Jocelyn had to stop her. Like it was truly, truly an intense scene.
Well, that's exactly it. And at this point in time, who Joss is associated with, does that hold any weight in court from some back end way with Brennan? And but just as well the hold that she had on Nina, it was like very professional. It wasn't like, hey, get off my mom. It was like a complete professional
Yes.
trained to hold her in that way. Like it was actually pretty cool to see them like just squeeze in that part.
So she could be a witness, or it could be like part of the flashback of showing like the clues as people maybe figure
Exactly.
out like what's going on with her. So going back to the red carpet, like you mentioned, Sidwell, he was making his mark. And this is I don't know. I guess sometimes I'm so into it, but this was my feeling. They announced that he funded the ball. And it's just that normally the ball is funded locally and nobody
Yes.
boasts about it really.
Yes, I
So that
know.
was very different, you know? Watch out, Port Charles. There's a new man in town.
He's got lots of money.
I sound so cheesy, but that's how I feel. He's the new man in town and he's going to be here for a while. His goal, right? To enter into the fabric of Port Charles. So I think he's definitely going to be here for a little bit.
100%. He has set down his roots. And I love, what is it? Like there was some post on GH, like his wife is in real life
Yes.
is the ADA, which is
Yeah.
so cute. They get to like attend the event together for
Her
the first
dress,
time.
her dress was my favorite.
It's cool.
The diamondy strap, that was so nice. Her
I
character,
don't
not so much, but the dress was
know. I
so,
just
so
think she's gonna end up
gorgeous.
sleeping with Sunny. Like that's all I can
Oh yeah.
feel.
Oh yeah. It was so classic. Did I
Mm.
interrupt something that looked intimate? He's like, we were talking about Robin and who this event
The
was
backstory.
like
He
created
brought up
for. The
the
backstory.
backstory, the flirting backstory
And
already.
and then he said, look it up. I'm like, great, she'll look it up. And then we all know what will happen when she looks it up. The criminal with a heart of gold. And then he'll stop being a criminal. So then what then?
Then she can sleep with the mayor.
Okay, so red carpet. I love how they did this. So then Isaiah shows up and they asked him if he's single.
He's single and ready to mingle with only Jordan, guys.
He like tried. He flirted. He had little
Yes.
moments with her. Oh my gosh. When Isaiah is with Sidwell and Jordan, he says, nice to see your blood money do some good for a change.
Yes, so good.
So good. Okay, then there was Joss. Like I loved it. I loved it. Like, she's there to kind of give us the best insults. She called Drew trash.
Oh, yeah, totally. I loved it. I watched it like 3 times because she got the best insult lines.
She did, but what confused me was when, like,
Mm.
Nina then, to Joss, makes a reference to Bobby, who I believe either
Yes.
slapped or threw a drink in Nina's face at the Savoy. Like, that's their last interaction.
Okay.
So for Nina to make a Bobby reference, wow. Bobby never took to Nell and certainly did not take to Nina.
But it just lends to that, like, delusional phase that
Hmm.
Nina is back into where she loves them and sees them as family, but she also has this Willow who's actually her family. You know what I mean? Like, she always wants to keep them close, but doesn't really know how.
No, no. But Willa does show up. She does show up, and Drew is mesmerized, and he
Okay,
walks
before we
toward
get to her,
her.
because I can't. I wanted to make mention to Emma. Okay, so Emma and Anna, Emma's dress, stunning. Love the
Yes.
color. And then you did a repost of the Kelly and Mark
Yeah.
interview with Anna.
Yeah.
Okay, is it just me or did that flashback not look like Emma?
I'd have to go back and check, but sometimes
Mhm.
when I see, like, the younger version of a character and then you kinda compare, like, the newer ones on the show, you kinda go, "Oh, okay, I see."
It's yeah, like it's so neat just in
Yeah.
terms of their overall aesthetic and
Yes.
just the way she carries herself, her height, just like I found they chose really well. And I just love them coming in together and them representing Robin. And I love every year, they're like, Robin had to work. She can't come, but we're representing for her. And I loved
I
that.
love that, right? To have her daughter
Yeah.
be there at the event. If anybody saw that clip, that old clip that they played on Kelly and Mark, in that scene with Anna, if anybody know who this is, they make mention of A. Sam Morgan, and I'm like, oh, that's
Okay. I was so
interesting. Yeah,
confused,
my
right?
brain
Because
hurt.
I'm like,
Yeah,
it really did. It really did. Okay. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, I probably could Google it, but
But we don't do that.
no, don't do that research. So going back to Willow's entrance,
Yes. Okay. Fine.
what'd you think?
Well, of course, my eyes went to her hand to look for the ring. That
It's
was number 1.
always on. That girl
It's
is not
always on.
taking it off, okay? She's
I
not.
think it's, like, stuck on there, maybe, like, she physically cannot take it off because I can't understand how you can sleep with your boyfriend uncle and still have your husband's
No,
grandmother's ring
not
on.
only could she sleep with her boyfriend's uncle, she can also clutch her pearls and be in total shock that her husband is actually gonna divorce her. Like, that blows my mind.
I know. It is
But
wild.
while I love her haircut, no
Oh,
haircut
yes!
will support proper brain functioning. Like, that's just not
Nope.
how that works.
Like, okay, there's so much there because there's the, like, major makeout session in
On
the
camera.
as Nina stares on camera for all the viewers to see, there's the constant making out in the actual room of the event. Like, between her being a puppet, like, literally standing there and having Drew speak for her, or her being so delusional, she's doing it so well, though, because I don't like her so hard, but because she's doing a really good
Don't.
job.
I don't, but I did enjoy her dancing around with the nurses thing. I'm like, "Oh, she's doing
It
really
was
well." And I was
cute.
like,
Yeah,
"I
she's
don't
so
like you.
good.
I don't like you, but you're really enthusiastic in this performance."
I know.
I appreciate it. No, like she's full blown Delulu. I cannot stand it, but I did enjoy the moment where she walked into the ballroom and kind of felt all eyes on her.
Yes.
I guess that people didn't get the message because judges know that people fall in love all the time.
They do though,
Okay?
guys. Judges, they train for that. There's a portion of their schooling that talks specifically about love reasons.
But I guess the ballroom didn't get it. People fall in love all the time.
All the
Oh my
time.
gosh. And then like Joss, again, she followed her. She needed she had some words. Oh, that was so funny. That was so funny. And the thing is, it's like Willow turns around going, "Oh, something about getting off your high horse." And I'm like,
Yeah.
like, are you and Lulu the same? Are you the same
Maybe.
person? Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe it. Like when Willow is talking to like Joss and she's saying she wants nothing more, like nothing is more important than moving on with her life and being with Drew. And she does this while her hand is on her chest,
Oh yeah.
wearing her wedding ring,
Yeah,
driving
like
me
I
nuts.
can't.
How much of in a rush can you be if you cannot take that ring off? Do you know what I mean? It's like, remember when Tracy wanted the ring? She's like, it's mine. It's mine. It's like, think about that. As much as she's so infatuated with Drew and loving her life with Drew, when it comes to actually separating from Michael, whether it was simply talking about it through just giving back the ring or when she saw the divorce papers, that was too much for her. And I think it's been easy. It's easy not seeing Michael because it really allowed her to be in this bubble of Michael doesn't exist. And again, pushing those fantasies that Wiley and Amelia should be with her all the time. Like that just really, really threw me. I don't understand how joint custody isn't enough because it's not about the kids. It's I want to live this carefree life with my new family. And I don't really want to think about Michael. I don't want to think about that piece. I just want to start over with our kids. Like I can't even wrap my mind around that logic. But again, I think Diane or somebody will help her see what she's saying exactly.
Well, I'm just wondering even how she's gonna get on the stand and say stuff because all Drew does is speak for her. He even went into the ladies' room to
Oh
air
my
quotes
gosh.
save her from Joss.
That was so funny. Joss just going at her. I can't stop watching it over and over. Joss's laugh when she hears Drew on the other side of the door. The insults about, do you think him and his white horse would have got here sooner if they didn't stop for blow? Like
So good.
I just couldn't. And then telling Drew, like, are you here looking for another girlfriend or just another hooker? It was amazing. And they're really gross. And I get that, like, why Willow wouldn't want to see that, but it's baffling that they don't. And the whole framing Tracy, like, Tracy's missing a lot, as we all know. And
Yes.
Ned confronting Drew. And this is all I have to say on that storyline. You live on a compound. How do you not have camera footage? Like
Well, that's
for
what I was
me,
wondering.
exactly. Like it's the whole exterior. You 100% have footage of Drew on the grounds planting that in her car. Like 100%.
Yes. They better. Like, I can't take much more of this. And he's getting sloppy though in the way that he's acting, Drew, because even when, oh my gosh, who was he talking to? I think maybe it was like the first interaction with Carly. Willow kind of gave him a look.
Yes.
And then he like reined it in, but he's getting there. He's getting to the point of slipping or something really wild happening to out him. So yeah, he has a lot to answer for. He has so many lies on the go right now that I don't know if he's going to be able to keep up with this web that he's spun.
I just think, like, for Willow, I just don't understand how she can stomach the fact that she doesn't say anything and that
Right?
she keeps letting him talk for her. And I like that Carly was like, can you say something? They're your kids. Like, if you're not taking control of them, like, you basically want Michael's kids to give to Drew. Where are you in all of
Yes.
this? Going back to Isaiah last week saying, where do the kids fit in all of this?
Yeah, it's really bad that her version of taking care of her kids is exactly that, gifting them to Drew.
I mean, look, we're talking about Willow and Drew, and he could be losing it soon, but I'll just say this. You know, Jason gets a call, okay? He gets a
Mhm.
call, like, and it's so important that he tells Tracy, I can't give you a ride. We know that that's not criminal business because Sonny has his own stuff that he's dealing with. So Sonny's not
Yes.
the one calling him. And we
Mhm.
already saw that cliffhanger of Michael in the jet
The hand.
watching the nurse's ball. And I'm excited because it's like, we know he's coming back. And like, even today, when I was sitting down to watch how things turn out after yesterday's episode, the whole time I kept reminding myself, oh, yeah, how is this going to happen? And then when they kept talking about the kid's performance, and I'm like, that's how it will happen. Wiley will see his daddy. Wiley will see his daddy. Just want to say this though, side note, Lucas showing up to see Liz, loved it, very cute.
I literally wrote it in my notes, and then when it happened, I freaked out.
You thought it would happen?
I said, I can't believe they don't have Lucas and Elizabeth watching the nurses' ball and eating ice cream and making comments. Cause like we really love that whole like, Brad duo when, like they did that. And then there was a point in time where there was like Joss and Christina. And I was like, the perfect pairing would be Elizabeth because of her broken leg and Lucas because they've had such cute banter in their scenes lately that I was just like wishing it. And when I saw it, I just about melted in my chair.
Well, like for me, when I saw them, I think I was more thinking of Brad and Britt and how much I
Oh
missed
yeah,
that.
Brandon, but yeah.
And I think that they're more of a nod to Brad and Britt than anything else because
Yeah.
Elizabeth brought that spicy, judgy side that Britt brought
Love.
to it. And it kind of makes sense to me that they took Brad out a little bit before the nurses' ball because he is a big
Yeah.
part of it. We're used to him and Brit's commentary. So I kind of like that nod and I like that dynamic. And we got like a little preview. But Lucas starts talking about it's a tradition, the kids' performance. No, it's not. We usually have the nurses who sing a sad song at the end.
Right? I was like,
You're
am I
not alone.
this is yeah, I know. So I'm like, this is new to me. The kids close it out every year.
It's new, very new.
Yeah.
And the kids
Yeah.
did such a great job. But OMG, better than I could have ever imagined a Michael return. Like I suspected, that he would come back for the nurse's ball, hoping
Yes.
that would happen. The preview all but confirmed it. It was amazing. And when he grabs Wiley, the look on Willow's face, the look on Drew, and even better when if you like, I watched it a few times but
Yes.
even if you see Nina, because she's there, but it's very blurred in terms of like the focus on her. But there's
Mhm.
also such a big reaction there. Michael walks in. His focus is on his son. I think we're going to get that cold, calculating Michael.
Oh, yes.
Like his parents are there, but he is laser focused. And when he picked him up and said, let's
Let's go.
go home, because, like he said, he didn't give you those kids forever. He let you have them for that night. And that's
Yeah.
all that it was. And those kids went back and forth for the short time before he caught on fire.
Truly, like, okay, I did feel like a very tiny moment, and I don't know if
What?
anybody else saw it. So before, when he had eyes locked on Wiley, and before he said, "Let's go home," I felt like Willow looked at him like, "Hey, you looking good with your new skin," for half a beat.
Well, this is what I think. Like, he's bursting that bubble, right? She's living in a
Hmm.
bubble where Michael doesn't exist. And this fantasy can really get out of control where she's like, how about Michael never sees his kids? How about we be
Yep.
generous and offer him 2 weeks in the summer? How about we be
Wild.
super generous where I take the kids to DC and he'll just see them every other weekend? Like, we'll work something out where he'll get them a drop. Like, the fact
Hmm.
that she was living in this world, right? Like, this fantasy that Drew is big and powerful. I went from Michael to Drew, and Drew will handle everything. And because of Drew, I'll live whatever life I want. Just forgetting the level of power that Michael has, the same power she was fearful. So the thing is, like, this is where the bubble is burst. There's only so much the lover can do. See how much the judge cares. See how much he cares to hear what your mistress has to say. So I'm
Hmm.
just happy, number one, for Michael to be back and for Carly to kind of step off of that so people can actually focus and face certain realities. Because
Same,
now,
preach.
because this is the mirror, this is the exact mirror that Willow has been running away from. She ran away from him from the moment this happened because any conversation, she would have to really acknowledge what she did and she would not be able to hide from the consequences. So I could not be happier. And I'm just, that, like, honestly, that was such an amazing comeback. Amazing. Because
I'm a
every strategy, everything that they were counting on, out the window. And Nina, I'm pretty sure at this point, she's rethinking everything because her initial instinct to kind of keep things calm, to not escalate, she blew things up at the wrong time because now she has no leg to stand on to kind of play
exactly.
mediator with Michael. Because, like she pointed out, like we could reach Michael. Michael is reasonable. So I just think like everybody played their hand and now we're going to have to deal with it.
Oh my gosh, I love it hard. I'm a little sad it's not Chad, but I
Yeah.
will embrace them just, continuing on the role and seeing what this storyline has to offer.
Absolutely. Like we heard that they were casting, but then when
Yes.
Chad had posted some stuff about like the craft and acting, it made me think like, could he have come back? But we all know that he
Mm,
left to kind of heal and deal with things, and he seems to be
yeah.
happy. And it really is his decision. I think it does also make a difference as a viewer too. Like when you know the person, it's really happy with where they are and good with
Of
their decision.
course.
And I'm so glad that GH chose to recast and that they did it at the right time because like losing Chad was tough considering all the losses right before him, but
Yes.
it felt comforting because the storyline kept Michael at the forefront. And I find the pacing, momentum, the return like really, really well done given that really unexpected turn of events with this character.
Oh, I totally agree. Talk about big turn of events.
Well, just events in general, I do want to give a moment to kind of address the performances. So I do feel like it's maybe less performances. I did not see any Magic Milo acts.
I really thought when Chase came out
Me
with
too.
Dr. Gannon and Dante and Cody that, like, those suits were just, like, snapped on the sides, but I
No,
was
no,
sorely
Mel.
mistaken.
That didn't happen. So I will say this. I love the performances. The Dante Chase Cody, I will say this. Okay, they look like they were having so much fun. I loved watching Chase
Yeah.
doing it. And there were some interesting lyrics where they zoomed in on Isaiah and zoomed in on Dante. Okay. So the lyrics in which
Mhm.
they zoomed in on Isaiah was, "When your girl has left you out on the pavement."
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then with Dante, it's, "When your dreams fall apart at the seams."
Oh, yeah, it was so good, so good.
So good. I love okay, so there was a lot of fake out performances, right? Because before this started, I'm like, so Anna's gonna do 2 performances? And the fact that she
Mm.
was doing that dance and it wasn't with Duke, like, I don't recall if she's ever really done that dance since Duke, or who has stepped in. And so, that performance wasn't a real, air quotes, performance. And also, what was also not real? Tracy. Tracy was never gonna perform. It
Tracy,
was
could you
Spinelli the whole
imagine
time.
if she was gonna do These Boots Are Made for Walking? Like, I was trying to just, like, imagine her doing that performance. It would have been hilarious. But,
Oh
yeah,
my
I was
gosh.
so happy Spinelli was in there.
No, he did such a good job, and I'm glad he got to be, like, a part of it. I was disappointed, however, that Maxie couldn't be there, but I did like
Yeah.
who they chose to perform. It was more sparse than usual, but, like, I was good with it. Joss and Trina did really good. Again, when I see them together, like, I don't think we've had, like, long-standing friends. Like, if you look at Elizabeth, Emily, like, Emily dead, so we never really got that continuity, but I think there's something special and unique about Joss and Trina. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of, like, friendships that kinda I feel like the only comparison I can kinda make of long-standing friendships that I come to mind is Bobby and Felicia.
That's true. Like, I love what they're building, what they
Yeah.
already have built. And I love that when they were at the end of the performance, Trina is just she's so
She's
adorable
so
and she like
fun. She's so
bursts
fun, yeah.
with light. And when she hugged Joss and she was like kicking her legs like a little excited kid on the boardwalk, it was just so friggin' adorable. It was like they called cut and she was just being herself.
Yes, it was very, very cute.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, I don't know her name, but they had, like, they
Edie.
got a what is it?
Edie, but it's YDE, I believe.
Oh my gosh, like, that was so good. Like, I love the
So
song,
good.
and, like, my favorite moment was Jordan singing the words. She was singing along to the song.
I loved it. She was, like, super into it. It was amazing,
'Cause I
honestly.
do,
So
because like,
cute.
some of them were, because I think the performer had posted she was doing this, and I think some of
Yes.
the cast followed. So I think for them, it might have been exciting. I think some of them are a fan or knew of her, but either way, amazing performance. I'm definitely gonna go back to listen to that song because it was so good. But in addition to that awesome performance, we had, like, another, real life performer that performed. Gio. Gio performed. Gio. Yes.
Gio performed at his very first nurses ball. His
Yes,
performance
he
was, like, absolutely
did.
outstanding. Like, when he first got on the show, I did Google him to,
Yeah.
see what he's done before, and I had seen a lot of his performances that he did, so it was really on par. Like, he truly gave it his all, and, like, it was really cool to see the cast reactions to his
Yes.
performance as well, and that was one of 2 performances.
Oh my okay, so look, this had like so far when I'm watching the episode, I'm like not thrilled. Like anytime Lulu is like chasing down or hunting down Lois or staring at her, I'm just annoyed as hell
Mhm.
about it all. And then it kind of kicks off finally, and Lulu kind of forces Lois into this conversation. What were you
Mhm.
thinking at this time? Because at this point, I was like disappointed.
I was disappointed, and I was all I kept thinking was, like, back in the day, Lucy would be, like, in some other room, and the curtain would fall, or a camera would go on. I was
Yeah.
honestly hoping that potentially a camera would go on in that room, and everybody would see Lulu being a giant butt to Lois.
I honestly thought Lois was going to put that woman back in a coma, to be honest.
Truly, I don't know how she kept it together with the way she was speaking to
To
her.
me, it was just traumatic and flashbacks because it's like it feels invasive. Like when
Yeah.
Lulu is doing this, like she's done it to Brooklyn, she's doing it to Lois, and it's just like we saw Lois. Like it took a really long time, but she eventually told off Nina, yeah, and it was fun to watch. And Lois usually has words, but we know that this is a heavy topic, and I do
Yeah.
hope at some point Lois has words and can speak. Could really get in a few punches the way that Laura kind of cut through when she had her talk. with Lulu, saying some really poignant things. And I hope Lois gets that chance with Lulu. But like, I just couldn't stand it. Like, if we flash back to just other moments, like where she's been told she's playing God. So not only did you confront Lois, right, and force the issue, what I
Mhm.
couldn't fathom was forcing the timeline. You confronted Lois, it's all but confirmed. And now you're telling her it has to be tonight. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, this is too, like, it just bothered me. We knew it was going to go down. So then when I see Geo, right? So now we know that Geo's looking for Lois. So then I was like, I don't know what to think about this. So Geo just overhears. So at this point in time, I'm like kind of freaking out. Like Maxie's not at the nurse's ball. I'm
Yes.
starting to get super disappointed. This conversation is
Yeah.
kind of like paralleling the conversation she had with Brooklyn that were absolutely not fun to watch. It's just
Mhm.
Lulu kind of pushing at people. She kind of has the upper hand, right? Because she's forcing their hand. She knows something that they don't want other
Yes.
people to find out. And then Geo overhears it. And I'm just like, well, then how is this exactly going to blow up with Geo overhearing it?
Yeah.
It does, and to be honest, it kinda saved it a little bit for me, so I didn't know what to expect because he runs away, so now I'm like, "This sucks." There's this conversation, Gio finds out, now we can't find him. Great,
Mhm.
great, and so when Emma finds him, I mean, the intensity in those scenes between Emma and Gio, like,
Yeah.
it's, like, you could see something amiss, and you're like, "Ooh, I don't know what to do with this boy, like, my grandma needs
I
you,"
know.
you know?
I know. You gotta, like, play your violin
Or
like you
you
did.
don't have to because you look
I
distraught.
know.
So he goes, and I did not expect what happened next. It was so emotional. I felt it. This kid knocked it out of the park. Knocked it
Honestly.
out of the park. Like it
Emmy worthy.
yes, for me, it wasn't enough in terms of twisting the knife for Lulu. Like, absolutely
No.
not. Because it's like everybody else is having these strong reactions, completely stunned. Like, even as an like watching it from home, I'm stunned watching, Gio's display of emotions and how horrific this has to be for him, especially when he was freaking out on the roof, being like, this is all I have of my mom, me playing the violin, this instrument. And like you see Lulu's face, which is, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
totally.
I was just so annoyed. And then you see all the players, we didn't get a Sunny reaction, but we got Olivia on camera, we got Ned being shocked, and the scene between Dante and Brooklyn, the way it was framed was
Mhm.
perfect. It ends with Brooklyn's like one perfect tear streaming down her face.
Yes.
Perfection. And then the next day happens. The next day happens. And it's slow. It's slow.
It's very slow.
What did you think?
Of the slow burn where we still haven't found Brooklyn and Geo or Lois.
They disappear. They disappear. I look, I don't know what to think. Like really kind of has her words with Lulu. You've done enough. And upping her from getting further involved. I kind of enjoyed that. Carly showed her literally no empathy on this one. She not only tells her you've done enough, she pulls her away. They have a bathroom conversation. She's like, "Did you do this? How did Gio find out?" I just kind of loved it because I don't think Lulu liked to hear it, but she's like, stay out of it and let the people involved talk to Dante.
She's definitely still gonna put her foot in her mouth, and
Oh, for
even
sure.
though Geo didn't hear all of it, he is definitely going to say how he found out and who was threatening who. So she has to look bad. She cannot come out of this with a Nina type situation.
No, I don't know how it will
Mhm.
happen, but either way, remember, Lulu's on the side of right. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like she's not going to hesitate to go talk to Dante and say what she's got to say. Because in her mind she did the right thing. Well, I don't know for
right.
how long she'll think that, but then she says to Carly, "I didn't want it to come out this way." "Oh, I'm sorry. Are you disappointed? It didn't go
With the
exactly how you planned?" You know what I mean? Like you wanted to decide when to tell, who to tell. Like, it's just so ridiculous. None of this concerns you. And then there was a moment where she like slinks back to her seat after Carly was leaving. She's like, "I'm going to watch my daughter perform. And I suggest you do the same. Get off this train before it flattens you."
Yes.
But I saw Molly watching Lulu slink in, and I'm wondering if like Lulu will become a foe of hers.
She has to, because if they're gonna get along, like if Molly and Christina get along, they need somebody to like hate on. And then if she'll get a little jelly maybe with Lulu's closeness with Cody, it will push the Cody Molly storyline.
Yeah, I mean, Christine is busy with her own stuff, but with Molly, I kind of
Soups,
wonder because like Lulu thinks she knows what's right, but Molly is also pretty. She's got
right?
her own opinion. So it's like, that's interesting, but it was just hard, So like everyone kind of involved goes out. Sunny stops Chase from going up. And I'm laughing because I'm like, you can't go up, Chase. It'll be too many conversations happening at once. And there's so much to cover. We need to handle these scenes one at a time, man. One at a time. But that's just how I felt because I think you're gonna have like they're gonna have to separate. There's just too many
Right.
players
Too many
involved,
people.
right? So like Chase confirms certain elements, and I'm like, I love how with minimal words everyone understands everything. That she had a baby with Dante, but we don't know if she knew it was Geo's because like I know because I've seen all the scenes, but I'm like, how did
Yes.
you all understand this under these circumstances?
I know, right? Oh my god, and there was an interview, I don't remember the whole article, but there's an interview that, the actor who plays Dante did with, Soap Opera Digest, and they kind
Okay.
of, like, asked him, like, his feelings towards, like, finding out he has a son, named Gio, and the only line I remember is that he said, "Well, at least he didn't shoot him like Sonny shot
Oh
me
my
when he found
god.
out."
Mel, my line here it says, at least you didn't shoot him. That's
Oh
what
my
I
gosh, that's hilarious.
That's what I wrote when he was talking with Cody because he was in such shock. Like, I felt the type of
Yes.
way about Dante over the last little bit because of the whole Geo thing, but he was
Yes.
so shocked and stunned. So I wrote that. And then I thought this was really interesting because we have the Joss Trina moment where she's like, oh, wait a second. You actually know what this feels like
That
because
was
of finding out.
wild.
So then in that moment, when I was looking and listening to Dante and he started talking about that was my little boy, like on the 4th of July, and then I kept thinking, wow, if you contrast Trina and Curtis, because Dante didn't miss moments. He
No,
actually
he
has
didn't.
memories. And that's what's so weird about this. This is what makes this kind of unique in this sense
Absolutely.
is that Gio, they grew up with him, and it's like, Brooklyn is gonna find out. Dante is found out, and it's like, oh, that's so weird. Like you have memories. You
Right, you
have
have
memories
memories of
of
him
him
as a
growing up.
baby, him and the family, all the family events they had together, like you said, they literally grew up together.
Yeah, that's kind of nuts. And so, like, the
It
way
is.
this is going, he has like it moved fast but slow. I don't know how, right?
Yeah, no,
Because
I agree.
it's like a quick Cody Dante talk where he says what he knows. Then
Mhm.
Dante comes out and pointing the finger, "Did you know? Did you know?" And he kind of like, pointed at
A
Chase.
who done it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Sunny stops Olivia, stops Chase, Dante goes up. But I really feel like it's going to be bit by bit. Like, I think we're going to have, like, Lois finding Geo, a bit of Brooklyn. Then it's going to be slow to have Dante enter. And it's like, I don't know, I guess like a week long of everyone having these conversations. Like, to be honest, I don't really know where Lulu fits into any of this right now.
Which I kinda love at this
I
moment
do.
because
I do.
her not having and then by the time Tracy finds out, and I feel like she'll go to Lulu immediately to find the truth, and Lulu will spill her beans on how it all went down, so she'll have nobody in her corner, like, I don't even see how Laura can be in her corner right now.
Is Tracy gonna be mad? I mean, maybe, right? Because Tracy never even forced Lois to tell. She didn't even tell, like, Tracy didn't even tell Ned. Wow. Okay. So yeah, she might be really upset, especially if she sees how torn up Geo is and the damage that's done. I am curious about what that will look like ultimately, but they're just like, look, there's gonna be so many conversations happening. And I guess maybe I could use a break from Lulu for a little bit if we have a couple of days
Yes.
of people processing. But it will be interesting, like on Lulu's end, when she has to face Laura. Or if she, I don't know, finds Carly because she needs to talk about it some more.
That's true, but like you said, I can do without her for a few days. I did love Ned's part in it,
Yes, 100%.
like his kindness and sweetness, like he hasn't been Ted for a really long time, but
No,
seeing his true Ned come out was really lovely.
it was definitely a gold star because I really felt for him. I was so sad. Like he's talking to Chase, he's trying to understand.
Yeah.
And this is really hard because when you had like the grandparents together, Sonny was the one who pointed the finger. Lois must know something. And it was interesting because
Yeah.
like this is going to be hard. Like we knew it. We know that like none of the adults are pointing the finger at Brooklyn, right?
Exactly.
Everybody is like going to be questioning Lois, like, what did you do? And that's where Lulu will lose a bunch of people. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if she'll finally learn to read a room and like back off of it slightly and actually save herself the way that like Carly told her to get off the train. I think it's going to be really funny if over the next little bit, she's kind of on the outside, right? Because Carly said, let the people involved handle it. And what
Mhm.
if like she can't really get like what if this whole scenario, this is without the drama. This is without people like seeing her for who she is. But what if inadvertently it just literally creates more space because now Dante's got more going on that he like literally just does not have the space for her or the time. Like his
Oh
you know
my
what I
gosh,
mean? Like cuz
I
he's going to
would
be thrown,
love he's gonna be thrown. There's gonna be
right?
little family meetings all the time, and that's just gonna elevate Lulu's rage because exactly what you're saying. She's creating distance. Like I could just see her in the quarter main window watching the three of them get to know each other on this level.
Like, I feel like it's gonna take time before that even happens. I think the fact that they live together
Mhm.
definitely will support that, but I just think, like, think of it, like, at first it was he's grieving, and he's not doing well, right? He's grieving, then what
Yes.
happened with Rocco really kind of, like, pushed things over the edge. Then you throw this on top of it, like, we know that Dante can get into, like, dark spaces. Like, we know you know what
Yes,
I
he
mean?
can.
So I feel like even just the turmoil, like not even the bonding, like that's a whole other layer, right? When they actually move past the storm to like bonding as a family, of
Right?
100% that irks Lulu, but it's the unintended consequences of this throwing
Yes.
Dante and him just kind of like, no, it didn't have the effect that he's maybe, oh, I can't confide in Brooklyn, so I'm going to run to you. He may not go to her to confide in because he actually has a whole bunch of family that he lives with to confide in, like his mom, like processing with her,
Yes, exactly. Because
processing
he
with Ned, everyone.
understands. Or they understand each other's feelings.
Yeah, so I will say that, the Michael reveal, loved it, like 10 out of
Loved.
10. The Geo reveal, Geo did exceptionally. But I will
Oh,
say
yeah.
this, I don't know what to expect, right? Because none of this is sort of
Mhm.
unfolding in any way that we predicted. It's like Geo did the dramatic piece, right? Where the bomb was dropped, but
Yes.
we didn't get like the dramatic confrontations that we thought it was gonna become. So we're only gonna find out next week how these conversations are going to be handled and who knew what. So it's a lot of like sifting through information. So yeah, it's definitely not what I expected it to be.
No, but it's been a long time since we had such a jam-packed week. So that was a lot of fun. And we won't, like, in a speed round type situation, I have to say one of my favorite lines of the week
Okay.
is Portia stating that what she did was a hospital matter and did not involve Curtis. I mean, I'm a light drinker, so she said it about 4 or 5 times. I would have already been drunk.
That 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 was so good. You're out. Yes, we totally forgot about those too. But like absolutely. She said it was a hospital matter, but then when he asked her for further detail, what did he want from you? "Well, for me to manipulate you." I was like, "How is that a hospital matter?" But I will say this, I would never wanna be on Curtis's team. I understand Portia lies, but the point is, as Ava said, those are
Yeah.
impossible standards to hold when it comes to other people, and I just find, like, Curtis is definitely not the one, like, if you wanna walk through fire with someone, he can't do that. He can't walk
No,
through
his
fire with
feeties will
you.
hurt to be like, "Ow, ow, ow, I
No!
can't do it, girl."
No, like, he can never move to the other side, right? Really
No.
build something, and he fails to see that, like, building a life and building a history will include these wounds, these elements, like, I mean, look at this man's loyalty. He bounces back between ex-wife to wife based on who's adhering to his standards the
Yeah, it's pretty
most.
bad.
It's really
Mhm.
bad, like, I know he feels like, immediately he learns this, and he's like, "Well, I guess we're over." Like, wow.
Right?
Portia, let him walk. Like, let him save you first
I know, right?
if he
Just
has
make
to.
sure you don't go to jail.
Exactly. Isaiah did say something. He flirted with Jordan, but then, he has this developing relationship with like Willow, this friendship. And they do say
Mhm.
friendship, but then they have this funny conversation, Isaiah and Willow, and it
Yeah.
goes, they were talking about their dates for the following year.
Huh? I did catch that as well.
And I'm like, is it Isaiah and Willow? No, I don't know.
I mean, Isaiah's a good-looking, suave guy. Like, I saw him looking at Portia. I saw him chatting with Jordan. He has a spark with Willow. Like, it could be anyone.
It depends on where Willow is at, right? But it was
Mhm.
just such an interesting, I guess, hint, like, I wonder about next year and like, oh, we're friends. And I'm like, what are you guys saying? Like, it was definitely a moment to keep in mind as when we arrive next year to see where did all these people land. But cannot be more excited for more of the Geo storyline, but most importantly, to finally have Michael back to pick up the
Yes.
reins, to take his space, to take what
Mm.
his, and for Willow to finally deal with reality. And I look forward to that ring slipping off her finger. And I hope no one finds out about Sasha. Like, I just want to win
Oh
for a
my
little
gosh,
bit.
no, we cannot. We cannot
No,
find out until like everything is finalized
exactly.
and solidified, whatever the heck they need to do. Oh my gosh. Okay. Do you have any? I know we're going to give stars to everybody, but do you have any favorite lines outside of the ones that we spoke about?
No, just literally an immense amount of gold stars to Geo
Yes.
this week. It was just amazing. Stars all around, stars to the performers, like literally just stars to everybody, stars to a fight from the past between
The time
Carly
machine
and
that she
Nina.
infused. I
Yeah.
love that. Like, I loved
Yeah.
everything about that. Good, like Drew just playing up his character, Jen's falling in and out of who Jen's is because it's his first nurse's ball. Like,
The
literally
outfits.
stars. Oh my gosh, the outfits and Lucy's wardrobe change. Oh my gosh, there was such stunning outfits. I think my favorite one, it kind of looked like sequins, but it wasn't. It was this like beautiful gold dress. Oh my God, she looks good in absolutely everything that she puts on. She looked fantastic. Everybody's dress was so beautiful,
One
like,
more
and
thing.
yes.
Some people were dressed up and never made it. So, real fast, because we're probably going to see more next week and we'll talk more in next week's episode, but it's finally out. Christina knows,
Yeah.
Alexis knows, they both know, and they're confirmed to be in a bad spot.
I could not with Christina's pace of catching up to what
I
was
know.
happening. I'm like, "Girl,
I
come on,
know.
let's go faster here. Let's get to there. Let's connect those cute little dots that are standing right beside each other."
Oh, yeah. The recklessness is about to go down. And
Mhm.
I guess I'm curious as to the path this will take. Like Alexis pointing out, we can't have your sister find out all of her family are criminals and end up in jail. So
Right? Oh my word.
let's see what this means for Christina, for her future, her transformation. Can she tap into some darkness? Will she be helpful or will she just blow things up?
Can she tap into some helpful darkness for the love of everything good?
That's what I'm hoping for, to be honest. I mean, with Lucky by her side, maybe.
Oh my goodness, I like literally cannot wait until they post a preview for next week
Me
and then
too.
just like get ready on my Monday evening when everybody's in bed to put on my GH.
So excited.
I forgot to ask you the most important question. What was your cutie pie moment of the week?
Honestly, I know the kids performed, so, like, maybe Wiley and Michael,
You're
but it's
so
actually
funny.
Jordan singing along to the performance.
Because it was legit naturally adorable. Like that
Yeah.
did not look scripted. That looked like she was vibing out and just like really excited to see like her person sing.
Yeah, so my cutie pie mention actually goes more probably to Jordan and to everyone else. Check out the cutie pie coloring book. It's available on Amazon. And we've even started to make cutie pie stories, actually taking the characters the kids make and bringing them to life. So you can check it out on the Instagram page at cutie pie coloring.
And okay, so when you said that about Jordan as opposed to the kids, you really channeled your Elizabeth moment
Oh,
when
that's
she
so
talked about the
true.
kids being off key.
That's so true. So true.
Oh my gosh, folks, have a fantastic weekend. That's a wrap on the Nurses Ball for 2025. We will talk to you next week. Bye
Bye.
bye.